Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Truth Report for this week and for the new year, as a matter of fact. Happy New Year. I hope God's blessing, richest blessing, will be yours during this coming year. I'm excited about what we're going to be considering in our truth reports for the next several weeks. We're going to be taking a look at something that is upmost in the mind of God, I'm sure. It's in the short list, the top of the short list for things to emphasize. As a prelude to it, let me read just a passage from Acts chapter 3, excuse me, where it says of Jesus that he must remain in heaven. Verse 21, Acts chapter 3, that he must remain in heaven until the time comes for God to restore everything. Restore everything as he promised long ago through his holy prophets. There is a time of restoration that is coming. It's a part of the end time scenario. But what is it he's going to restore? There's a similar passage that is given to us in Jesus' own words in Matthew chapter 19. He speaks to his disciples. He says, I tell you the truth. Matthew chapter 19, verse 28. I tell you the truth, at the renewal, the restoration, renewal, at the renewal of all things, when the Son of Man sits on his glorious throne, you who have followed me will sit on the 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So there's the promise of that for the disciples. But when will that take place? It will take place at the renewal. What is he going to renew? Well, I think there's a number of things that he's going to renew, and we're going to be talking about some of them, but we're going to be talking about one of them specifically. And that has to do with the name of God that's given to us in the Scriptures. His name is Yahweh. You'll remember in Exodus chapter 3, where Moses is been confronted by God in the burning bush, and he's told by God that he's going to go and bring the people of Israel, the Jews, out of Egypt. They're in bondage to Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Verse 13, Exodus chapter 3, Moses says to God, suppose I go to the Israelites and I say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. Ehyeh asher ehyeh in Hebrew. This is what you're to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. And then he goes on to say this, and this is critical. This is of monumental importance. God said to Moses, you say to the Israelites, Yahweh, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. That's his name, Yahweh. Why don't we hear that name? Well, unfortunately, the rabbis have said that the Jews shouldn't use that name out of a sense of reverence for the name, and they could be guilty of breaking the commandment that they should not use the name of the Lord, their God, in vain. But what has happened is they don't use it at all. And the Scriptures mean don't misuse. It doesn't mean don't use, but don't misuse that name. And of course, the name is largely unknown among Gentiles. But as we'll see, his name will be universally recognized and exalted. And we want to do that. We want to begin that process. There are those who today who recognize that. But they're few and far between. But we want to be used of God to exalt, to bring praise to the name of God. Hallelujah means in Hebrew, praise Yah. Yah is a shortened form of Yahweh. And that will be universally recognized. We say rather glibly, hallelujah. But that's really a praising and exalting and lifting up and honoring the name of Yahweh. So that's what we want to be about, the lifting of the name of Yahweh. And that's the truth.